What's going on, Reds? Welcome back to another episode of Liverpool Latest. My name is Matt. If you enjoyed today's video, please feel free to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and as always, subscribe to the channel to never miss an upload. It seems like every time this week I've been trying to research for the January transfer window, a lot of old names are coming up and a couple of new names are being brought to my attention, but it's always there's no concrete information on if this is actually gonna happen. And even if this doesn't happen in January, the idea of the fact that it's being talked about now, whether it's again or newly for some fans like me, um, should hold at least a little bit of weight. Well, this first story I have for you today may have a little bit more weight than I anticipated because it seems like Nico Schlotterbeck is actually once again in the news with Liverpool because, obviously we have the whole center back issue going on here. He's been one of the names that has been frequently mentioned. If anything, him and Mark Gahey have been like the top two names I've seen consistently talked about when it comes to this transfer window or transfers in general. Excuse me. And plus, Konate hasn't re-signed, so obviously we still need to find ourselves some star center backs. So that way, not only can we replace Konate, but we also have a replacement for Virgil because I do believe either he might be leaving at the end of this season or he might be they might just part ways at some point, whether it be the end of this season or sometime next season. No idea. But we need a center back regardless. And whether it's Gahey, which I still hope will happen, or if it's Schlotterbeck, or if it's Vanderven or somebody, we need to make a move on that position. Luckily for us, it seems like Real Madrid was also in the running to sign Nico Schlotterbeck from, I believe he's in Dortmund, if I remember correctly. And it seems like the interest for him was cooling off because Madrid is an absolute shit show right now. Their priorities are all kinds of messed up, whether it's regarding the center back position or the coaching or who knows, God knows what. All right. Real Madrid is a mess. Couldn't have happened to a better club, in my opinion, considering that they are rivals of Liverpool. But the fact that they have cooled off interest because they were another big name is good for us because it just means that we are now kind of the front runners for this. And it's not confirmed, but I am being led to believe from everything I have been reading for the last several months, because again, this is not a new name coming across my desk. I'm led to believe that Liverpool have to be in some way, shape, or form as one of the only clubs left pursuing him. Because if it's not Madrid, who else could it be? I mean, Dortmund could still keep him, though there's no definite confirmation that they would prefer to sell to us. And even then, the the price is still relatively kind of steep, 50 million euro or 43 million for a bargain, which is a narrative that is being pushed amongst the media. I'm looking more towards like 50 to 55. Once again, I believe that is far more realistic for us. And apparently Bayern and I believe Barca are also still have some interest in him as well. So there's still quite a bit of competition going on, and who's willing to pay the price is going to be what we are being left to see. So I'm not sure, and the fact that Madrid and the articles I've been reading that they are making a crazy mistake. Again, pure sensationalism journalism. I've been seeing that enough this week. Nothing I haven't been run into before here when it comes to Liverpool latest. But I still believe that the idea of signing Nico Schlotterbeck is still very plausible. After all, I've been talking about it for months. We're one of several clubs monitoring him, and he should be, hopefully will be, a part of our long-term center back planning, because we were looking to be very cooked in that position very quickly. So hopefully that is something that we pay a little bit more attention to. Whether it happens in January or not, I am not entirely sure, but it's something that I will continue to keep an eye on. And I'm glad that this is kind of resurfacing back into the news, because it's certainly something I haven't forgotten about. Another thing I'd like to touch on: it seems like where I turn around, everybody on this team is having some sort of contract negotiation going on. Szoboszlai, rumored to have signed a new deal, not confirmed yet, but rumored. Gravenberch was another one that they were looking to sign for a long-term deal. Who else was it? Obviously, the Konate situation still ongoing. Mo, still up in the air. I don't think his deal runs out this year, or if it runs out next year, but even then, it's still coming up very soon. Same thing with Verge. And then Randy Robertson, another staple when it comes to the leadership, is now in contract negotiations. So he says he is confirming that that is an ongoing conversation going on. And obviously, Robertson wants to stay, loves the club, and respects it, which is something I love to hear from a current player. But he also, expectedly, will not accept to be a long-term backup, as clearly Kirkez is someone we are trying to move into that position, kind of forcing Andy Robertson out. And listen, I have my gripes with Andy Robertson. I respect him as a player, and I respect him as a man. I believe he is one of the key leadership focal points on this team, without a shadow of a doubt. I just don't think he can play that well anymore. It's kind of like the same thing with I don't want to say I don't want to say Milner, because when I started watching, everyone would tell me that Milner's old, shouldn't be playing in the Premier League level anymore. Meanwhile, the guy is 40 years old, consistently playing still. Whether or not he's playing well, I'm not really sure. I believe he plays for Brighton or something, I believe. I am slightly... The idea of age to me means nothing if the skill is still there. It's a matter of who they're up against, and clearly, when you're facing a younger player, hypothetically like Saka or something from Arsenal, when you're facing a younger player, clearly that's going to be a bit of an issue in older age. You're not going to be as fast. You're not going to be as reactive as you once were years ago. And I believe Kirk is at left back, as troublesome as it has been at times, is something that we have to focus on more, because clearly he's still not completely comfortable in the position, and him playing it more could help him in the long run with his decision making. But at the same time, even if Robertson isn't necessarily declining, like, he's still a great player. Like, he makes a lot of fuck ups, don't get me wrong, but he's still a great player when it's time to turn it on. But the fact of the matter is, at some point, time's going to have to move on. The club's going to have to move on. And it's not something I'd like to see or I like to talk about. I mean, again, I like Robertson. I have my issues with him as a player, but sooner or later, the atmosphere of the club and the hierarchy, and I don't even know if it's the hierarchy, the culture of the club passes you by. And at some point in time, you're just going to have to accept that you're part of a bygone era of the club. I mean, he's a staple of the club, don't get me wrong, but he's slowly but surely becoming the old Liverpool, Klopp's Liverpool. Clearly, Klopp is no longer a part of the team in any capacity. Slot is going to make this team what it is. Whether or not we all enjoy watching it, I can go on and on about that forever. You guys know that. But listen, I'm glad that there's at least conversations going on with keeping Robertson, but at the same time, he's got to step aside for a different role. A leadership role, a rotation role, emergency starter. That's kind of where he's at right now, for better or worse. And this timing couldn't have come at a worse time, frankly, because we're already on very, very limited supply of players with injury, as well as just all these contracts coming up. So I'm not really sure. I don't think he's angling for a pay raise either, which wouldn't shock me. He doesn't seem like the type of player to pull out ego like that. But I just think he wants to play for the club as long as he can, and I want him to stay. I want him to stay, but I realistically, like I've been saying, I just don't. I don't see it. I think the bigger picture is eventually Liverpool moves on. I would not be shocked if this leads to a very calm, dignified parting of ways that we all have to prepare for, whether anybody likes it or not, come the end of the season. That's all I have to say about that. Another, speaking of defense, clearly we have other prospects as well for the right back position, which is clearly been an issue this season for us with multiple injuries and losing Trent Alexander-Arnold. Gentleman by the name of Vanderson, who plays for Monaco, has been on Liverpool's radar. This is the first I believe I'm talking about it, or I'm hearing about it. So, but this has been reported before, so this is not necessarily fabricated. He's been tracked by several top clubs since he broke out at Monaco. And they've consistently liked, or they have historically, Liverpool being liked his athletic, dual-capable fullback style, and players comfortable defending wide without constant protection, which, again, something Trent would do a lot, honestly, back in the day. And plus, the need for us to have a right back is very, very real right now. Our rotation on that is limited. Options, yes, rotation. We have options, but the only true right back we have is Frimpong, if I'm being 100% honest with you. Maybe Gomez, but Gomez can't stay healthy enough to stay that way. He's also young. He's prime recruitment years. 24 years old, pretty young when it comes to football. So 100% believe that is more than capable of happening just for the age idea alone. It really just comes down to the fact that we have no positional stability in that spot, the right back position. Trent held that down for so goddamn long that it has been, frankly, a nightmare trying to find a proper replacement for him. Nobody's been able to do the stuff he's been doing, which is a shame. And I know he's hurt right now and he's had a tough time at Madrid, but I look back at all the times I watched Trent play, the way he would kick the ball and place the ball for strikers. The corners were something I always admired from Trent. We don't have that anymore, really. Outside of Szoboszlai, I don't really care for anybody else taking corners. I think Macca's corners suck. And they're the only other two that use them. And I like, as a fan, I just want that chaos to stop. I feel like Trent has cursed that position now because of his situation leaving for Madrid. And we just can't find the stability we need from it. Whether it's Frimpong getting injured earlier in the season, Bradley getting hurt, constant rotational, players in there between Szoboszlai, Gomez, so on and so forth. And plus, from a defensive standpoint, we also need someone that's going to be reliable too, because defense has clearly been breaking down quite a bit. We might be on an unbeaten run, but a lot of those unbeaten runs are coming from the fact that we're drawing when we shouldn't be conceding goals when we're conceding them. So I would hope this Vanderson fellow is someone that aligns with Slot's model and is someone that we could probably recruit. And I've been saying this all the time. especially with the transfer window. We can't have every player imaginable, but we could at least try to make an effort to talk to them and sign them. And I would be more upset if there was no effort put in and no contract offered than there would be the fact that, oh, yeah, they like him, but they're not going to do anything about it. That's where I'm at with this whole thing. So, do I think it's going to happen in January? I don't believe anything that's been happening. I frankly don't believe a goddamn thing because clearly we've been quiet. Our intention has been very quiet. It's right now as I record this video, it is January 15th. We are about halfway through the month. If we haven't made a move yet, we're probably not going to make a move right now. Summer looks like it's going to be another big spending period for us, whether we like it or not. But the good news is that we are eyeing him as a viable right back option. If, of course, the circumstances are right. But he's definitely not going to be a January target, which is a big shame. I'll tell you what the target is. Burnley. Burnley is our next target because I can only hope to God that this is going to be a win. And I say that because the last time we played Burnley was quite a struggle. We didn't lose, but we certainly struggled. And that was very difficult. It was a very difficult game to watch someone that was, once again, the new kids on the block of the Premier League to essentially frustrate us as well as they did. Yeah, not entirely a big fan of that last match that we had against them, but it's a little bit later in the season now. You know, the team has, I don't want to say gelled a little bit more, but I think everybody understands their role a little bit more. We're just going to have, I honestly, I can't even lie to you guys. I feel like we're going to have another big problem. I'm trying to spin this in a positive light. I can't. I genuinely can't. Because if they frustrated us before with our best players on the team at the time, what could possibly happen now that like a majority of our team is injured, or at least the majority of our big guys are gone? Mo Salah still can't make it because of his AFCON obligations. So clearly he's gone completely. I don't think he's going to make that at all. And so we have to wait for him for next week. And I just worry about the low blocks. That's essentially what I worry about. Because we can have all the attacking control imaginable. All right? This has been Slot's whole deal, right? Holding control of the ball. Possession. Possession doesn't mean jack shit if we don't score goals. And that has been our problem. We have no creativity. All of our we have maybe 2 or 3 good goal scorers on the team right now. That's Dominic Szoboszlai and Ekitike. And I'm not even sure Ekitike starts because of the injury he had. Maybe he does. If he does, at least we have a little bit in that regard. Florian Wirtz, too, was another option. I firmly believe that Florian Wirtz could easily be a part of this match and start and score. But I just don't think we have the offensive prowess to win by a large enough margin than we should. Maybe we get a goal. Okay? And that's me being positive about it. Maybe we get a goal. But I do believe that Burnley knows that the low blocks is going to be our big issue. They're going to plan accordingly for it. And they're going to frustrate us without a shadow of a doubt. Everybody has. We used it against Arsenal last week. Clearly, it shows how effective that was. I expect Burnley to do the exact same. But, lo and behold, I believe, excuse me, I do believe, Liverpool will dominate the game in possession. I just don't know if they really will score. It also comes down to the defensive discipline. Obviously, we've been known to break down on counterattacks and set pieces, which has been our Achilles heel, and we just have to find a way to beat it. We have to find a way to rise above it. Now, granted, I don't think Burnley are good at any means at any of that stuff, because clearly they're, 19th in the Premier League right now, sitting in the relegation zone as we speak. So I want to sit here and tell you that I'm not entirely concerned about Burnley. But then again, the little voice in the back of my head that always tells me anything can happen in the Premier League. Look what happened with us in Leeds. It's repeating in my mind like a fucking, like my conscience. It's like, hello, Matt. This is your conscience speaking. Liverpool could win this game, but anything can happen. That's what's repeating in my head constantly when I make videos like this, or at least parts of the videos where I had to discuss the pre-match analysis of it. But what's my prediction? Barely winning. That's my prediction. 1-0, 2-0 if we're lucky. I don't think Burnley scores. If they do, that's something we got to look at on our end, because clearly that's not something that should be happening. There's no way we should be conceding to fucking Burnley of all teams. But on paper, anyway. Who do I think starts, though? Let's talk about it, shall we? As far as goalkeeping is concerned, I don't really know if Alisson needs to be starting this game. I would prefer it, but I don't know if he necessarily needs to, because I would rather him be healthy for bigger matchups and put Mamardashvili in, but I also don't trust Mamardashvili at all as far as he can throw the ball, if not less than that. So I'm kind of teetering on what I should do with that, but for argument's sake, let's say Alisson starts. Frimpong, Konate, Van Dijk, Kirkes, the staple back four, as we would probably expect. Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Jones, and Wirtz also are going to be involved, as well as midfield and attacking positions. And of course, Ekitike being our pure striker out in the front. Cody Gakpo should be nowhere fucking near that starting position. And if God help me, on Saturday morning, when I wake up before 10 a.m. when this game's supposed to start in the U.S., and I see Cody Gakpo starting in this match over Ekitike, I will throw my fucking computer outside of my window, where it will probably hit my car because my window is facing my driveway. I will take that risk, because there is no goddamn way Cody Gakpo should be starting any of these matches. He's just not good enough. What slot season him? No fucking idea. It's like that Family Guy skit where it's like, my black son, or my black son, and that stuff. But that's what it is. That's essentially what slot is with Cody Gakpo, and I'm sick of it. So keep fucking Cody Gakpo on the bench, please. Have him sub in. I don't give a fuck if he subs in. I just don't want him anywhere near the starting position. I need Ekitike to play at least 65 minutes. Okay? Maybe we have a shot of scoring something, because Ekitike has been, like I said, Wirtz, Szoboszlai, and Ekitike have been our best scorers as of recently. So there's no reason why they should not be in the starting 11. So that's all I have to say. May the best team win, I guess. Thank you for watching Liverpool Latest. My name is Matt. I'll see you guys after the match, because I will not be uploading a new video tomorrow on match day. So I will see you guys for my post-match analysis and thoughts. And I hope I come with a much more positive demeanor, because I got no hope. I have no hope right now. Anyhow, I'll see you guys on the next video. You'll never walk alone.